unbelievable. But wow, I'm just really thrilled to be right here. And there's a lot of people in my life that helped along the way, and I'd just like to thank the Buffalo Sabres for giving me the opportunity to coach in the league. And of course, know we can make it. Mario said it, and a couple other players said it. You know, family's so important, and I'd like to thank my family. Thanks.
Ted Nolan had elevated the Buffalo Sabres and himself. A few weeks later, Ted Nolan was unemployed. Offered only a one-year contract extension, he took that as an insult and walked away from the Sabres. Now he sits with his wife Sandra in the stands at St. Catharines, Ontario, watching their son Jordan bash around the ice, coached by other boys' fathers. In less than 6 months, the Coach of the Year in the National Hockey League went from pro to Pee-wee. And then he waited for another man to lose his job so that he might claim it. And he used the time to examine himself and to discover that what he sought was not only the focus to succeed in hockey, but the vision to see beyond the game. We met at May's Restaurant in the hamlet of Stevensville, Ontario, to talk about Nolan's past and his future. Being named Coach of the Year seemed to have a real effect on you. You seemed really moved.
I think I got so emotional because you've seen so many people at the function. Their parents were with them. Their family was with them. And just before that happened, just thinking to myself, I said, geez, wouldn't it be nice if my parents were here too? Ted Nolan had risen from a realm as foreign as any of the imported players he coached. The Garden River Reserve near Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Here, as a boy, he acted in the pageant of Hiawatha for tourists on a riverbank now abandoned and overgrown. I had to go through, not having the best of skates. So my brother and I started hockey together in the city for the first time. We had one set of gloves and a hockey stick and a helmet. We had everything else. We had to, in between shifts, we had to change. I'd take the helmet off and give it to him, give the gloves, give the stick, and he would go out there. And I could just imagine what people were thinking or looking at us at the time, but we didn't know any better. That was part of, that's what we had, and that's what we had to work with. I was playing in Toronto, Ontario at the age of 16. My brother wrote me a letter saying we just got indoor plumbing, and that was a big day on the reserve. He was one of 12 children, but he would lose both his parents before he was 25 and spend most of his playing career in the minor leagues, moving up to the NHL for 78 games as a Red Wing and Penguin. In 1995, he accepted the head coaching job with the Buffalo franchise that had been underachieving for more than 20 years, a rookie behind a bench of wealthy young men. Back in my day when I played, it wasn't too long ago, coaches came in and said, well, let's work, and we had to work. If we didn't, we'd be gone, somebody else would take our spot. Nowadays it doesn't work quite like that because you're paying players $3, $4, $6 million a year, and you're not going to throw that type of money away. And in order to be a coach nowadays, you almost have to be part parent, part psychologist, part teacher, part friend, part everything included into trying to get the players to compete hard. Out of work, with no paycheck coming in, Nolan found himself adrift. There was one period of time, maybe about 2 weeks ago, where I started feeling sorry for myself. I started, moping around the house, and I wasn't a very pleasant guy to be around. And all of a sudden, I had to, Don Cherry's commercial where he slapped himself in the face after the Russians won the Stanley Cup. I had to slap myself in the face and saying, hey, I got my 2 boys here, I'm home on a daily basis, life couldn't be better.
We should get back to what it was in the old days, caring and sharing and communicating with one another, and one community is doing something well, share it with another community. So one community can get stronger, and the whole nation gets stronger. He has found another world in which his message of spirit and self-confidence is sorely needed. The Indian world he left behind when hockey called him away.
I have a chance to speak with the Union of Ontarians and to go around from reserve to reserve and then talk to the kids about not necessarily being a professional athlete, not necessarily saying you have to be a doctor, you have to be a lawyer, you have to be a big professional to be successful. You don't have to be that. You have to be a good person. And to me, my mother never had a job in her life, but she raised 12 children. To me, that was very successful. So I like to go around and try to get a message across to the kids about believing in themselves and being proud of who they are as individuals, and just believing in themselves that through good education, staying away from drugs and alcohol and working hard and believing in yourself and believing in your ability, you can achieve anything you want in life.
And hopefully, next time you see this ugly mug, you'll see it behind a bench somewhere. Thanks for that.
In late October, Ted Nolan turned down Phil Esposito's offer to coach the Tampa Bay Lightning. He says he wasn't ready to lift his two sons out of Canadian schools and Canadian minor hockey on such short notice. He's hoping now that the telephone will ring again. I'm Alan Abel.
Ted Nolan's journey. The making of a hockey legend.
We didn't have any indoor plumbing, so I made my rink in the backyard one pail at a time. Run, fill up the pail, go back, fill it up, and make a rink.
There you go.
And the uncertain future for one of hockey's top coaches.